doing too good, we forget about God.
Right.
When everything is just right, we forget about God. He was like, let me just put this here so you can remember about me. Don't forget about me. Because, some of us will go off to college and go to another state, and
My Lord.
we start doing good, and then we forget about our parents and stuff.
My
I ain't talking about me now, but ultimately, God is like, when I give you all that you need, then that's when you start forgetting about me. So I ease it into your life. I give you piece by piece so you can remember that it was me, not you.
Good word. Good word.
Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. Even in the midst of our mess, even when we pray, God still hears us. Sometimes it don't feel like He hears us. Sometimes it don't seem like He hears us, but He hears us. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. We can't pity pat with God. I can't be holding on to the world and say, well, Lord, I love you with all my heart.
My Lord.
And then we say, Lord, you know my heart. He like, yeah, and it don't belong to you. And I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back to the place from which I sent you into exile. And one thing I always wonder is, like, when sin comes into play, it's like, why do we feel so distant from God? Well, it's because you turned your heart from Him.
Good word.
And a lot of times it's because of our own selfish reasons. So then we give ourselves our heart, and we take it away from God. But He's still right beside us. But He's like, I need you to give me that back. That's why it feels empty. That's why we feel empty. That's why life feels empty.
Right.
But He's like, when you give me that, then I'll take care of that. And we're going to talk about that later. I can't wait to get to that part. But turn with me to Daniel chapter 9. Look at that. I turned right to it. Daniel chapter 9, starting at verse 23. And when you have it, say amen. And I think I was going to read that in the CEV version. Because one thing, when I first read this scripture, I was like, I got to go find that again. But one thing I read in this was so powerful. I was just like, really, Lord? But Daniel 9, starting at verse 23. And I'm going to read the CEV, Contemporary English Version. If my phone would load. Okay, so Daniel chapter 9, starting at verse 23. Okay. Oh, that's not what I want. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, I got it. So, this is the CEV version. God thinks highly of you, and at the very moment you start praying, I was sent to give you the answer. God has decided that for 70 weeks, your people in your holy city must suffer at the price of their sins. Then evil will disappear, and justice will rule forever. The visions and words of the prophets will come true, and the most holy place will be dedicated. Let's just read the first verse again. God thinks highly of you. A lot of times we put ourselves, we give ourselves false humility. We say, oh no, I'm not that good, but God said, you are more than a conqueror. So when we take God's word and we say, no, I'm not that, He like, well, what I said. And not to be ashamed of what He said, because a lot of times we look at our lives and look at I guess the decisions we made. We can call them mistakes no more. But the decisions we made, and we just like, Lord, you still would give me that. You'll still give me that power. You know, knowing that I messed up, knowing that I took you for granted, knowing that I didn't love you at one point, and you still saying I'm more than a conqueror. And that this trial and this storm that I'm going through, that all I got to do is say, be quiet, and it'll stop. But He says, I think highly of you. I don't know what the scripture is, but we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So therefore He thinks highly of you. If I make something, I'm like, that's so pretty. Like when I take a picture, I'm just like, ooh, I like that picture. That means I think highly of it.
Yes.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So just know He's proud of you.
Amen.
Even though you mess up. Even though we're not messing up. Even though you make decisions that are not right. We'll say that.
Well.
He still loves you. He still thinks highly of you because He created you.
Well.
Correct? You need to realize that from verse 25, you need to realize that from the command to rebuild Jerusalem until the coming of the chosen leader, it will be 7 weeks and another 62 weeks. And verses 24 through 20, I want to say 27 that I'm going to read. I forgot who wrote this. Let me see. Oh, Daniel wrote, of course, because we're in the book of Daniel. But Daniel wrote to the Jews that there's going to be a period of 70 weeks that trials and tribulations will come against them for their sins. But after that time would pass, that the temple will be rebuilt and victory will, and justice will rule forever. And he was telling them, you need to realize that when that they need to command to rebuild Jerusalem until the command of Jesus coming. Well, coming of Jesus. It will be 7 weeks and another 62 weeks. Streets will be built in Jerusalem and a trench will be dug around the city for protection. But these will be difficult times. At the end of the 62 weeks, the chosen leader will be killed and left with nothing. He's already warning them from the beginning that there's a reason why you're doing this. A foreign ruler and his... Okay, so we'll just start right there. The chosen leader will be killed and left with nothing. He told them it was going to be difficult times. And when we go through difficult times, we kind of look at it as, well, it was because they had sinned. And sometimes it's because we sinned. But it's ultimately like a pushing place. It's grounds for pushing. Because if he wouldn't have told them that they was going through difficult times and that they needed to build the city up, he's trying to get us to build our cities up. He's trying to get us to build the kingdom up. Then we have to work until Jesus come back again. He was telling them, y'all need to get this ready for when Jesus comes, the city will be done. So guess what? We got to work now. So when he come back, the city will be done. But even in our individual lives, a lot of things that we go through, it calls for pushing. It calls for building. It calls for studying. It calls for spending time with God. But it's ultimately, we have to build our personal cities up. Because in a kingdom, there's many cities.
Right.
So you got to get your city right. So when somebody come by, oh, that's your city, it's so nice. It wasn't me, he did it. But I had to do it so he can come see. So we have to build our cities up so he can come dwell in them. Because our bodies our bodies are considered temples. But a lot of times we'll tear walls down, we'll break windows out, we'll kick doors down. And he's like, okay, now you have to go back and put all that back. Because I had it the way I wanted it, So go back and put it back. And sometimes them windows hard to put back together. It's hard to hang that door back up. And when you by yourself, it's hard to put up a whole wall. But guess what you got to do it? Because you got to make yourself whole and you have to get yourself right so he can come dwell in you. That was good to me. That was good to me. That was good to me. What was I at? 20, 26. Yeah, I'm trying to read. Okay, 26. At the end of the 62 weeks, the chosen leader will be killed and left with nothing. But that's still 26. Okay, so a foreign ruler and his army will swoop down like a mighty flood, leaving both the city and the temple in ruins. And war and destruction will continue until the end, just as God had decided. And war and destruction will come until the end, just as God had decided. And right there, he was warning them, saying, "Hey, there's gonna be a foreign ruler that's gonna come." Yep. He's warned us, "Hey, there's a foreign ruler that's gonna come."
Amen. Well.
Because the devil come to kill, steal, and destroy, right? Yeah. So he'll help you destroy your city and destroy your temple and leave you to pick up the pieces. That's what he was telling them. Hey, somebody gonna come and they're gonna destroy the temple, but guess what? You got to keep building.
That's right.
You got to keep pushing.
That's right.
I'm sorry, y'all. But you know how the verse says, I go to prepare a place for you. Well, you got to put some work in
Yes, sir.
Amen.
to get your place.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everybody think, oh, I got a mansion. You might end up with a hut, so you better, you better get the work in. I'm sorry, yeah, that was
My Lord.
he just gave it to me. But
Yeah.
we got to put in work to get something out of it. You know?
Well,
Yes, he says confess, but he says also work.
yes, sir.
We got once we confess him, we have to still do work. We still have to live right, and living right it's a job by itself. So
Well,
if you just do that, you can get your mansion. Hopefully, we won't get no huts and no cottages and stuff. Because I want a mansion.
well,
But you know how the old folks say, y'all living in mansions now, so it might be the house you got now. So you might well just be prepared to stay in the house you're in now. Okay. Turn me to Psalms 34. And we have to say, man. And now I'm going back to the ESV version. I just wanted to show y'all that God thinks highly of you.
Amen.
So you can stop saying, I ain't nothing. And stop believing them lies that people told you saying that you weren't nothing.
My Lord.
That you weren't going to be more than what your mama and daddy was.
well,
But he said, I think highly of you.
well.
So if God think highly of me, then I can do great and mighty things. So Psalms chapter 34, verse 19. And when you have it, say amen.
Amen.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. He keeps all his bones, not one of them is broken. Affliction will slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. The Lord redeems the life of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him will be condemned. Verse 21 again. I'm going to read verse 21 again. Affliction will slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. That's why so many people we know that live out in the world, the things they go through, the afflictions they go through, it take them out.
Yes, sir.
Or it get them so close to taking them out, and they run to Jesus. Some of them don't get the chance to, some of them do. But the reason why is because they don't have life standing behind them.
Come on now, come on.
You don't have life around you.
Well,
This world doesn't have life in it.
well.
So if you're indulging in the life, in the world, then the little life you got,
That's right.
it's absorbing.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to remember what the scripture is, because I think it's later on, so we're going to talk about it later. But that's why you have so many people out there in the world dying from their afflictions. And we are still wondering why we are still here. Because there's a lot of times he could have took me out. There's a lot of times I shouldn't have made it, even when it was something I had nothing to do with.
My Lord.
I'm just going to briefly tell my little testimony, I guess, because he pushed me to. But I wasn't even supposed to make it into this world.
Well.
I came into this world 2 months early, 3 pounds, 7 ounces. I can't never remember the numbers, but 3 pounds, 7 ounces. And you know, the doctors would say, the world would say, oh, it's a 50% chance he make it. You know, I'm just guesstimating what the doctors may have said. But whenever we look at premature children, we're thinking, you know, it's a possibility they'll make it, it's a possibility they won't. I'm just grateful I did. And Keisha always tells me, she's like, see, you ain't got no birth defects, no learning disabilities, no nothing.
Amen.
Ain't nothing wrong with you. So thank you, Lord. But just to know that, and that's how I kind of have to look at the reason why he put me in ministry, and the reason why I go through, I guess some of the things I go through is just because I'm a fighter.
Well.
Yes.
Well.
Good work.
Well.
I had to fight for life.
Good work.
Because I had to fight to get here.
Yes.
I had to fight to be here.
Well.
And then when I was 4 or 5, was in a 4-car pile going to a basketball game in Birmingham. It wasn't nothing major, but in my eyes, it just felt like, okay, the devil's still trying to take me out. And my family too. And it's like, no, you ain't gonna win. Because I remember falling over in the car, so I was like, oh, my leg hurt. They're like, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. But then another time I was 8 or 9, me and my dad was at McDonald's. He had picked me up from the YMCA during the summer.